My brother's new wife looks exactly like me. I mean exactly. Same hair, same style, same mannerisms. It's freaking me out. When I finally confronted him about it at their wedding reception, what he whispered to me made my skin crawl. Now I'm scared to be alone with either of them. I, 29F, am writing this because what happened at my brother's wedding 3 days ago has me questioning everything I thought I knew about him, and I don't know if I'm overreacting or if my instincts are screaming at me for good reason. My brother Ethan, 32M, and I have always been close. We grew up in a tight-knit family, just the two of us and our parents. After our parents died in a car accident 6 years ago, we became even closer. We're all each other has left. Or at least, we were. 8 months ago, Ethan started dating someone he met at a work conference. Her name is Claire, 28F. He was immediately smitten, talking about her constantly, glowing whenever he mentioned her. I was happy for him. He'd been single for almost 3 years, and I thought he deserved love. Then he showed me her photo. Reddit. I felt like I was looking at a picture of myself. Same dark brown hair, same length, same style with the side part, same oval face shape, same light brown eyes, same small nose, same pale skin. We could have been sisters. Or twins. I laughed it off as a weird coincidence. People have types, right? But when I met Claire in person a week later, it got weirder. She wasn't just physically similar. She dressed like me, the same style of clothing I wear, the same colors I gravitate toward. She had the same laugh. She used the same hand gestures when she talked. She even tilted her head the same way I do when I'm listening to someone. I felt like I was looking in a mirror. My boyfriend, Marcus, noticed immediately. He pulled me aside and whispered, "Is it just me, or does she look exactly like you?" I said I'd noticed too, but didn't want to be weird about it. Over the next few months, it got more pronounced. Claire started wearing the same perfume I wear. She got the same style glasses I have. We both wear contacts usually but have backup glasses. She started using phrases I use, specific expressions that aren't common. At first, I thought maybe she was trying to bond with me by mimicking me. Some people do that subconsciously when they want to be liked, but it felt deliberate, studied. I mentioned it to Ethan once, casually. I said, "It's funny how much Claire and I look alike." He got weird and defensive. He said, "I don't really see it. You're reading into things." Then he changed the subject, but other people noticed. My aunt said, "Ethan found his sister's clone at a family dinner." Claire smiled but didn't say anything. Ethan looked uncomfortable. Then came the engagement. Ethan proposed after 6 months of dating. Fast but not crazy fast. I was genuinely happy for him. Claire seemed sweet, if a little intense about copying me. The wedding planning is where things escalated. Claire asked me to be her maid of honor. I said yes because, honestly, what else was I supposed to say? But then she wanted my input on everything. Her dress, her hair, her makeup, her flowers. Every choice she asked me, "What would you choose?" I tried to give neutral answers, but she pushed. "No, what would you specifically choose if it was your wedding?" I'd tell her, and she'd choose that exact thing. Her wedding dress looked almost identical to a dress I'd tried on years ago when Marcus and I briefly talked about marriage. I'd posted a photo of it on Instagram and later deleted it. But Claire found it somehow and chose the same designer, same style. The hair and makeup trial? She brought photos of me to show the stylist what she wanted. Photos of me. The stylist looked confused and asked if we were twins. Claire said, "No, I just love her look." I told Marcus I was freaking out. He said maybe she just admired me and it was a form of flattery, but he looked uneasy too. The wedding was 3 days ago. I was the maid of honor, so I was in the bridal suite with Claire getting ready. At one point, we were standing side by side in the mirror. Same hair, same makeup, same style dress, her wedding dress, my bridesmaid dress, but similar cuts. One of the other bridesmaids gasped and said, "Oh my God, you two look like twins." Claire smiled at me in the mirror and said, "I know. Isn't it perfect?" Perfect? What did that mean? The ceremony happened. I walked down the aisle. She walked down the aisle. They got married. The whole time I felt uncomfortable, but I couldn't pinpoint why. It was like watching my brother marry me. Obviously not literally, but the resemblance was so uncanny that several guests commented on it. At the reception, I finally had some drinks in me, needed them to get through this weird day, and I decided to talk to Ethan. I pulled him aside during a quiet moment and said, "Can we talk? Just for a minute." He looked nervous but agreed. We went to a hallway outside the reception hall where it was quieter. I said, "Ethan, I need to ask you something and I need you to be honest with me." He nodded. I said, "Claire looks exactly like me, dresses like me, acts like me, and I know you see it because you got weird when I mentioned it before. What's going on? Did you specifically seek out someone who looks like me? Is this some weird psychological thing?" His face changed. The nervous smile dropped. He looked at me with an expression I'd never seen on him before. Cold. Almost calculating. He stepped closer to me and said quietly, "You want to know the truth?" I nodded, my heart pounding. He leaned in and whispered, "I've been in love with you since we were teenagers. You were always the one I wanted, but I couldn't have you. You're my sister. So, I found the next best thing." I felt my blood turn to ice. I stepped back and said, "What?" He continued, still whispering, "Claire is perfect because she's as close to you as I can get. Every time I look at her, I see you. Every time I touch her, I pretend it's you. She knows. She's okay with it. She understands." I felt like I was going to throw up. I said, "Ethan, that's insane. That's sick." He smiled, but it wasn't his normal smile. It was something else. He said, "Is it? I've spent my whole life watching you date other people, watching Marcus touch you, knowing I could never have what I wanted most. Claire gave me an alternative. She's willing to be you for me." I backed away further. I said, "You need help. This isn't normal." He said, "Don't tell anyone. Who would believe you? I'm happily married now, to someone who isn't you. That's all anyone will see." Then he walked back into the reception like nothing happened. I stood there shaking. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't go back in there. I texted Marcus to meet me outside. When he came out, I told him everything Ethan had said. Marcus went pale. He said, "We need to leave. Now." We left the wedding without saying goodbye. I've been at a hotel ever since. Marcus is with me. I can't stop replaying Ethan's words in my head. "I've been in love with you since we were teenagers. I've gone through every memory of our childhood, our teenage years, our adult relationship. Were there signs? Did I miss something?" He was always protective of me, but I thought that was normal brother behavior. He never liked my boyfriends much, but I thought he was just being an overprotective sibling. He was always close to me, but we just lost our parents. I thought he was clinging to family. Was it something else the whole time? And Claire, she knows. She's willingly participating in this. She made herself look like me on purpose. She studied me. She became me. What kind of person does that? I called my therapist for an emergency session. She said what Ethan described sounds like covert incest or emotional incest. Inappropriate emotional feelings that never became physical, but are psychologically harmful. She said his admission is deeply concerning, and I should consider cutting contact. But he's my brother, my only family. How do I cut off my only family? Except, is he really family if he's been seeing me romantically in his head this whole time? If every hug was something else to him? If every time we hung out, he was fantasizing about me? I feel violated. I feel betrayed. I feel sick. Marcus says we should tell someone, maybe a family friend, maybe Ethan's therapist if he has one. But who would believe us? Ethan's right that it sounds crazy. My brother married someone who looks like me because he's in love with me. Sounds like paranoid delusion. And what about Claire? I've been going through her social media. I know I shouldn't, but I can't help it. Before she met Ethan, she looked completely different. Blonde hair, different style, different everything. Then she met him, and within months, she transformed into me. I found a photo from her profile from 10 months ago, before she met Ethan. Blonde, different makeup, different clothes. Then 3 months ago, after they'd been dating a while, dark brown hair, same cut as mine, wearing a style of jacket I own. She changed herself deliberately. He showed her photos of me and she made herself into me. What level of psychological damage does someone have to do that? I'm terrified. I don't want to be around Ethan. Every memory of our relationship is now tainted. Every childhood photo, every holiday, every moment we shared. I'm looking at it through a different lens now. And I'm terrified of Claire. She's not trying to be like me anymore. She is me, but in his life, where I can't be. What if she's not satisfied with that? What if she wants to be me completely? What if Ethan decides the copy isn't enough? Marcus thinks I'm spiraling, but he's also deeply unsettled. He said, "Your brother has been looking at you the way I look at you. For years. That's not okay." I've been getting texts from Ethan. "Where did you go? People are asking about the MOH. Did I say something wrong? Please don't make this weird. I was joking, you know that, right?" Now he's gaslighting me, pretending it was a joke. Claire has texted too. "I miss you. When can we hang out? I want to do sister-in-law things together." I haven't responded to either of them. My aunt called asking if I'm okay, if something happened at the wedding. I didn't know what to say. I said I felt sick and had to leave. She said Ethan seemed upset and worried about me. Of course he is. He knows I know now. Reddit, what do? Do I cut contact with my only brother? Do I tell people what he said? Do I confront Claire about why she made herself look like me? Do I just pretend this never happened? And the scariest question, was he telling the truth? Or was he messing with me for some other reason? Is this real? Or am I losing my mind? I'm scared. I'm confused. I don't know what's real anymore. Final update, 4 days later. I've been reading every comment and I want to thank you all. The overwhelming response was that I need to protect myself and that Ethan's behavior is not normal or safe. You were right. Everything was worse than I thought. After posting, I stayed at the hotel with Marcus for 2 more days. I blocked Ethan and Claire on everything. But then I got a call from my Aunt Linda, my mom's sister, and the closest thing to a parent figure I have left. She said she needed to talk to me urgently about Ethan. She asked if we could meet for lunch. I agreed and Marcus came with me. What Linda told me changed everything. She said that after I left the wedding, she pulled Ethan aside to ask what happened. He broke down and told her a version of events, that he'd made a stupid joke that freaked me out and he didn't know how to fix it. Linda said something felt off, so she did something I never thought to do. She called Ethan's ex-girlfriend from college, Melissa. Reddit. Melissa told Linda that she broke up with Ethan 8 years ago because he kept calling her by my name during intimate moments. She said he had photos of me in his apartment, not just family photos but photos of just me. She said he talked about me constantly and compared her to me regularly. When she finally confronted him, he admitted he had complicated feelings about me but insisted he'd never act on them. She left immediately and blocked him. Linda contacted another ex-girlfriend. Same story. He compared her to me, kept asking her to style her hair like mine, bought her clothes similar to what I wore. There was a pattern. A years-long pattern. Linda said she should have seen it sooner. The way Ethan looked at me at family gatherings, how he'd get jealous when I brought boyfriends around, how he never wanted to talk about his own relationships. She said our mom had once mentioned being worried about how attached Ethan was to me, but our dad dismissed it as normal sibling closeness. Linda said, I think your brother has had an unhealthy fixation on you for a very long time, and Claire is the first woman who is willing to participate in it. Then Linda told me something that made my skin crawl. She said when she confronted Ethan about all of this, he didn't deny it. He broke down crying and said he couldn't help how he felt, and that he'd tried to make it go away but couldn't. He said marrying Claire was supposed to fix him, but seeing me at the wedding made him realize nothing could replace the real thing. Linda said she told him he needed intensive psychological help and that he needed to stay away from me. He agreed. He's apparently checked himself into a psychiatric facility for inpatient treatment. Linda gave me the name and number in case I wanted to verify. I called. He's really there. 30-day program for obsessive attachment disorder. According to the intake counselor I spoke with, they could only confirm he was a patient, not details, but I heard staff talking in the background. As for Claire, Linda also spoke to her. Claire admitted everything. She said when she met Ethan, he was upfront that he had unresolved feelings for a family member. She thought it was romantic that he was so devoted. When he showed her photos of me, she said she wanted to help him and thought if she could become what he needed, he'd love her the way he loved me. Linda said Claire is deeply disturbed in her own right. She has a history of unstable relationships and identity issues. She apparently has a pattern of molding herself into what partners want. Ethan was just the first partner who wanted her to be someone specific. Claire has since moved back to her home state. The marriage is being annulled. Ethan requested it from the facility, said he can't pretend anymore, and that it's not fair to Claire. She agreed. So my brother's marriage lasted 5 days. Linda has been incredible through all of this. She's helped me find a trauma therapist who specializes in familial betrayal and emotional abuse. She's made it clear I have zero obligation to maintain contact with Ethan, now or ever. Marcus has been my rock. He's horrified by everything that came out, but he's been supportive and hasn't pressured me to make any decisions about what comes next. As for me, I'm processing. I'm grieving the brother I thought I had, because that person never really existed. The Ethan I knew was a carefully constructed mask hiding someone with deeply inappropriate feelings. I've decided I will not have contact with Ethan, at least not for the foreseeable future. Maybe not ever. Linda says he's accepted this and isn't fighting it. He apparently told her he's ashamed and understands why I'd want nothing to do with him. Part of me feels guilty. He's my brother. He's mentally ill. He's in a facility getting help. Shouldn't I support him? But my therapist reminded me he violated my trust in the most fundamental way. Every moment of our relationship was a lie. I'm allowed to protect myself, even from family, especially from family. I've been going through old photos and memories, seeing everything differently now. His possessiveness, his jealousy of my partners, the way he'd always want to be near me, how he'd get upset if I canceled plans with him. It was all there. I just didn't see it because he's my brother and I trusted him. Some answers to common questions. People have asked if Ethan ever acted inappropriately physically. No, never. That's part of what made this so insidious. He never crossed that line, so I never had reason to question his behavior. It was all emotional and psychological. People have asked how I didn't notice Claire transforming. It happened gradually over months, and I only saw her every few weeks. Each time there was a small change, slightly darker hair, similar glasses, etc. I noticed, but didn't realize the full extent until the wedding. People have asked if I'm worried about safety. Linda has assured me Ethan is being monitored and has agreed to a no-contact order as part of his treatment. Claire moved across the country. I'm being cautious, but I don't think I'm in physical danger. Moving forward, I'm staying with Linda for a while. Being in my apartment feels weird now. Ethan has been there many times, and I keep imagining him looking at my things, being in my space while having these feelings. Linda says I can stay as long as I need. Marcus and I are doing okay. This has been hard on him too. He's questioning whether he missed signs, whether he should have said something sooner. I've assured him this isn't on him. Ethan fooled everyone. I've decided I'm changing my look. Not because I did anything wrong, but because I need to feel like me again, not like the object of my brother's obsession or Claire's transformation project. I'm cutting my hair short, something I've wanted to do anyway, changing my style, reclaiming myself. Linda is planning to organize family therapy for anyone who wants it. Several relatives have admitted they're shaken by this revelation and don't know how to process it. As for Ethan, I honestly don't know if I'll ever speak to him again. Linda says he's making progress in treatment and genuinely seems remorseful, but remorse doesn't undo years of deception and inappropriate feelings. Maybe someday, years from now, I'll be ready to hear what he has to say. But not now. Probably not for a very long time. Thank you all for validating that I wasn't overreacting. This was as disturbing as I feared, maybe more so. But I'm safe, I'm getting help, and I'm moving forward. Sometimes family isn't about blood. It's about who truly sees you, respects you, and loves you appropriately. Linda and Marcus are my family now. Ethan lost that privilege.